Well, hi, and welcome to your 10-minute orientation. As the video shows, this should go exactly 10 minutes. We have a lot of information to cover, and if you want one of your family members or a friend to come close to you and watch this video with you, I highly advise you to do that right now and pause the video and come on back. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. The purpose of this video is basically to help you get more out of your care. I find that the people who watch this type of a video will get more results, they'll get faster results, they'll get more of their money's worth. Now, usually when a person starts care here, they come in because they have some type of an ache or a pain, but then they realize that, hey, when we're dealing with the nerve system, the effects are global and you can actually have improvement in other areas, perhaps energy or immune function and some of these other things that you might not have necessarily associated with chiropractic. Now, you should have received the My Misalignment email, which is a simulation of what your exact misalignment, your exact subluxation is from the x-rays that we took on you. You should receive that email just minutes before receiving this. So go into your inbox, and after you're done watching this, go over that email with your family member. Now, why did I ask your family member to come here and watch with you? Well, because, family member, I will be giving your daughter, your wife, your husband, your son, whoever, your brother, your sister, some instructions likely on certain exercises or some icing tips or some do's and don'ts and things like that. And when we commit to making healthy habits, rolling out and making a decision to get healthier, i.e. coming here, it's really important that you help to keep this person compliant so that they can get the most out of their care. Chances are they're very busy running around helping take care of other people, and sometimes they tend to forget about themselves. Now again, this is just an orientation. As a result of watching this video, you might even have more questions. You might realize stuff that you didn't even know that you didn't know a few minutes ago. If that's the case, really the best way to reach me is through email. Sure, you have visits scheduled with us, and when you come in, if you have a simple yes/no question, I can obviously answer that right there on the spot. But I want to give you the best answer possible, and sometimes I might need to do a little bit of research, and therefore email is really the best way to reach me. Now, I've broken down the rest of this orientation into 3 parts: Pediatric, Spinal, and Care. So let's go ahead and get into it. Well, a little bit about myself. Why did I get into chiropractic? Well, as you can see from the picture here, I actually have a pretty bad scoliosis. They were really considering doing surgery on me while I was in high school. Fortunately, I didn't need it. Fortunately, I stayed flexible, and the sports I was involved in at the time I think really helped me a lot. And chiropractic has really helped me stay pain-free as much as possible, and really that's why I am a chiropractor now, because I want to help people with the same thing. I want to help people stay out of pain naturally without drugs, surgery, needle injections, therapy, and all these types of things. Now, my philosophy is very simple. It's time-tested. It's never going to expire based on insurance policies or scientific advancements, and it is this: the brain and spinal cord controls everything in your body. The skull and the spinal column is supposed to protect the brain and the spinal cord. However, when you have an imbalance, when you have subluxation in the spine, this is always a bad thing, regardless of what types of symptoms might manifest. Removal of it is always a good thing, and remaining free of nerve interference is really the best way to live, and that's what it's all about. Let's talk a little bit more about the spine now. As you know, the brain controls everything in the body. It communicates with the spinal cord. But the linkage is the brain stem. The brain communicates by way of the brain stem with the rest of the spinal cord and the rest of the body. Now, this is really interesting. I got this off of Amazon, but the brain stem is about as thick as the tip of my pinky. So something like that. And the atlas and axis vertebrae up here at the top, when they shift or when they rotate, they can buckle and they can compress any one of these 3 trillion, with a T, 3 trillion nerve fibers, and this is going to manifest in poor health. We simply want to remove that. We do that very, very gently, very specifically. The x-rays that we took here, no doubt at least 3 of the upper head and neck, more than likely for you. This gives me a mathematical calculation, applying physics and biomechanics. That's how we can give such a light, gentle adjustment to the spine. The spine is kept in a neutral position, and people just love that about coming here. Again, some people like the more physical type of adjustments. We just happen not to do it here. Another thing that makes us unique is not every single time a person comes in will they actually need to be adjusted. So imagine that. You drive 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hour and a half to get here, and you come back and I measure and I say, Bob, Mary, you're holding your adjustment today. You don't need an adjustment. Great job being here. It's important that you're monitored. I'll see you next week. Can you imagine that? Well, that happens regularly here. And this is a good thing because your body is only healing when you're holding. That's why you go to the chiropractor so your body can actually heal. It's not getting adjusted that makes you better. It's holding your alignment over time. When I talk about care, I'm talking about your treatment plan or how we get results here. Now refer to this graph over here on my left, your right. And what you notice here is that it takes time for the spine to develop a problem. You may have injury when you're a baby, when you're a toddler growing up, and then you sit in long car rides and you sit at a desk all the time, maybe car accidents, sports accidents, lifting grandkids, and you can see how your spine just kind of downward spirals, unfortunately. And then when you come here, it takes a while. It takes a few months for your body to actually really start healing. Well, actually healing starts right away, even though you might not necessarily feel better right away. My point is that it's a process, and it typically takes at least 90 days to heal structural things. Just like a broken bone or a sprained ankle, it takes about 90 days. This is a natural healing process that can't be rushed. This is not a chiropractic rule. This is just how the body works. Now the great thing is, throughout these visits, throughout this sequence of visits, the visits only take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes maybe. If you're not adjusted, then it's just literally, maybe it's a minute. If you'd like, you're welcome to rest here. Some people find that it helps them to adjust to their adjustment better, helps them sort of decompress, kind of reset the calculator, the clear button on the calculator before they get back out there in traffic or work. And you're welcome to do that. There's a timer and there's a whole kind of protocol. Make sure you read those instructions here inside of our resting area. People love it. Now when you come back for subsequent visits, you're going to find that I'm going to tell you basically the same thing on average most of the time. The hip drops down. It tends to drop down on the one side. It's like a Dixie cup. If I had a cup and I crushed it down and I bring shape back to it so it can hold water once again, well, the path of least resistance, I crush it down, it's going to want to break down along those same creases and crevices once again, isn't it? And it's also important that if you have any small injuries in between your appointments, that you try to get in here as soon as possible. As you go along, there's going to be more and more time in between your appointments. Let's just say you were here, you were adjusted today, and tomorrow you bump your head while you're getting into your car, and then you have neck pain, or maybe you don't have neck pain, you feel something isn't quite mechanically right though. But your next appointment's not for another week. Don't wait the entire week. Get in as soon as you can. We don't want you spinning your wheels now going the wrong way. We want to keep you going in the right direction for as long as possible. And again, that's why it's really about you being in alignment, you being monitored, and the good timing of the adjustments is the recipe for you getting better over time. Well, I thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes. Again, feel free to watch this video as many times as you'd like. We covered a lot of information. You're going to be getting weekly emails from me for a while now, and I hope you enjoy them. Again, always email if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you on your next visit.